Hi guys, it's Michelle Hendry from Nashville, and Michelle asked me to share a little experience that happened to me in the hotel lobby of the convention right before it even started. Was the first one to arrive from my little room of roomies, and decided to go wait in the lobby till Michelle got there and I could get a key to get in the room. And when I went over the lobby, I first noticed a huge group of soccer girls, and they caught my attention since I have a soccer player in my house. And I decided to go sit down kind of close to them, and I sat down next to this lady who my first assumption was that she was one of the soccer moms. And I sat down and kind of next to her, and then I just kind of struck up conversation, and the next thing you know, I quickly learned that her English was about as good as my Spanish, which, let me just say, is about the equivalent of maybe an 18-month-old talking. Both of us were really struggling, but nonetheless, she was really friendly, and so I continued to talk and told her while I was there in my very broken Spanglish, and before you know it, we were friends on Facebook, and she was asking to sign up, and I was a little floored, frankly, that I signed someone up right there in the hotel lobby of the convention. But the best part was when really struggling, but nonetheless, she was really friendly, and so I continued to talk and told her while I was there in my very broken Spanglish, and before you know it, we were friends on Facebook, and she was asking to sign up, and I was a little floored, frankly, that I signed someone up right there in the hotel lobby of the convention. But the best part was when Michelle texted me to say, "Hey, I'm here, where are you?" And I said, "I'm in the lobby signing someone up." I mean, is there anything better to say to your upline? I was really excited. But the moral of the story is, I often have said myself, and have heard many others say, I can't find anyone to sponsor, or I'm talking to everybody and no one will sign up. Frankly, open your mouth constantly to anyone and everyone, even if their English is terrible.
Hi, Cassidy here. I'm going to be talking about social media, and the speaker that we listened to was Shama Kabani, and she actually has a book that's out that I just ordered that I'm super excited for it to get here, and it is called The Zen of Social Media Marketing. So real quick, the things that I took away from the social media was to make sure that I'm getting familiarized with it and trying all the different things that are out there, and not just sticking with Facebook, and trying out the Instagrams, the Twitters, the Reddits, all the different things that are there. She talked about how people are now the media, and that we need to, and I'm looking at my notes, so please forgive me, that we need to make it less about ourselves and more about the brand. How can they relate to what you are putting on the internet? So a great example that she gave is, a lot of us follow this, even myself. My page is called Younique by Cassidy, and instead of calling it Younique by Cassidy, come up with something else that's going to draw their attention and is based around what they need. So switching it around and calling it like great makeup tips or top 10 makeup tips. And so I actually utilized this and went and made a blog that was separate on Facebook, and I called it Hot Quick Makeup Tips by Cassidy. And I did not invite anybody. I just left it on there to see what would happen, just posted a couple pictures, and sure enough, I started getting organic likes, and I didn't have to sponsor it or anything. So definitely works out, so highly recommend that. She also talked about embracing online videos, which is something that I had just started and a lot of people are afraid to do, but it says on there that 64% watch a 30-minute video clip compared to only 24% finish reading an article. So that shows you right there the power of videos. So that's something that I'm definitely going to embrace and take along with me. So hope that covered just a little bit, and try out the social media and get familiar with it. Have a great day.
Hi guys, this is Brenley Duncan. I'm an Orange presenter. The topic that I chose to recap from convention was Melanie's talk on individual worth from Saturday. So she started her talk off with an object lesson in which she took a brand new, crisp, clean $100 bill and she held it up, and she asked us the value of that bill, in which we responded that it was worth $100. At that point, she took the $100 bill and crinkled it up in her hands and held it up in a little ball and asked us again how much it was worth. So we told her again $100. She put it on the floor and stepped on it and twisted around, and then she picked it back up and opened it, and it was very wrinkled and worn and looked like it had, been through a lot. So she asked us at that point how much it was worth. So we told her again that it was still worth $100, even though she had done all those things. So the point of her object lesson was to remind us all that no matter what the things that other people do to us or how they treat us, things that they say to us, that we still have an infinite amount of individual worth, and that it doesn't change what we actually are worth. And so another thing that she mentioned that I really liked was she talked about how she has a lot of traits from her dad here on earth. And so she said she has his stubbornness and his skinny legs, and named a few other traits. And she said, if I have traits from my father on earth, I have to believe that I've inherited traits from my Father in heaven, which is so true. She reminded us all that we're daughters of a king, and that we have infinite individual worth, and that we need to be kind to ourselves and to remember that no matter how other people treat us, it still doesn't change how our individual worth is and what we are worth, and that it's important for us to remember that. Following her talk, Derek spoke, and that's when he made the announcement about the Younique Foundation that's coming. And so her talk was related to that, so that we can remember that we are worth an infinite amount. So that's it for my topic. We'll talk to you guys later.
Hey guys, it's Lindsay Colomb. I am sick, so you'll have to bear with my voice, but I want to go over some things that I brought home from Bill's speech. Convention was absolutely amazing, but his speech really, really brought something home to me. He talks about 3 traits of a leader, and the first trait being good decision makers. Leaders are good decision makers, meaning that they commit. When they decide that they're going to do something, they commit to it. They don't come in and out. They don't, they're not here for a week and gone for 2. They're not committed 50%. They're committed 100%. And I loved that. Creativity. Leaders are creative. You have to kind of find special ways to set yourself apart from other people. We have a big business. I mean, cosmetics alone is huge. But if you can set yourself apart and really get creative with your marketing, I think it would be an amazing jump for anyone's business. And I've already started thinking of creative ways to set myself apart, and I hope you do too. The third trait of a leader is a never quit, never make excuses mindset. I cannot tell you how absolutely amazing that was for him to vocalize, because having a never quit and never make excuses attitude means that you're responsible for your own happiness. You're responsible for your own life. If you're making excuses, or if something goes wrong, sales are slow for the month, case in point, last month, you can make excuses, or you can find other ways to make it successful. You want to grow as a leader, and you want to make sure that you're doing things always that are in benefit of your team. And if you've committed to making this company work for you, you will do it as long as you're following those steps. Surround yourself with positive, like-minded people and cut the negativity out. Negative people will not help you be successful. They will help you find excuses not to be. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed that. There was so much more in his speech that I can't give you in this little 2-minute block, but I mean, it was just wonderful, and I think those were the 3 best points that he made. So I hope you guys enjoyed.
Hey guys, Nicole here. I just wanted to share with you one of my experiences from convention this year. Mine is from our class on daytime to evening makeup, but it doesn't really have to do a ton with that subject. It has more to do with the model that the makeup artist had chosen. She started off the class, the model did, sort of slumped over, sort of not smiling very much, had to be told by the makeup artist even to like sit up a little bit, and look at the camera. And as the makeup artist started putting on her makeup, she just sort of, little by little, sort of lit up and started smiling a ton, and you could tell there were people in the audience that knew her, knew who she was. She, I guess, had never really worn much makeup before, and she just sort of really got into it, and you could just see her whole demeanor change as the makeup was going on. You could tell, like almost tell that she felt beautiful, you know, and that was so amazing and so touching to me, just because for me, that's why I do this business, because that's what I want for every single woman out there, is to make them feel beautiful in any way that I can. And so that's why I wanted to share with you guys that particular experience, and just to remember that no matter who you're talking to, no matter the situation, just always strive to make people feel important and feel beautiful in their own way, and know that we can help them do that in our own way. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hi everyone, this is Christine Miles, and I wanted to talk about Christine Strong's talk, which was famous movie quotes. She had a couple of quotes that I thought I would emphasize here for you. One was, number 10 was from Pretty Woman, when she says, "I want the fairy tale." And I think this is so important for what we do, because we need to be able to dream big. Don't be afraid to have those goals. Create a plan to get to your goals, and don't settle for less. Here you had Julia Roberts, who, if anyone shouldn't want the fairy tale in Pretty Woman, it's her. But she was willing to still say, "I want the fairy tale," and not settle for less. Even though, what for most people in her situation, that seemed like a great offer. Oftentimes we settle for less, and we cut ourselves off from experiencing great things. So, tip number 1, don't settle for less. Dream big and go for it. Tip number 2 comes from Bond, James Bond. The important thing with this is to know who you are. Choose your identity. Don't let someone else tell you what you are. And don't be defined by what they say. You can create yourself over again. Just because you haven't done this before, or you've done things differently in the past, doesn't mean you can't go forward in a new direction. And just don't be afraid to define yourself. Be proud of what you are, and don't be afraid to be your own personal walking billboard. So when people think of you, you want them to think of you selling Younique. And that when they hear the word Younique, they think of you. So whether that means that you are always sporting your Younique gear, that you have eyelashes on your car, that you walk around with one eye made up and one eye not, selling Younique. And that when they hear the word Younique, they think of you. So whether that means that you are always sporting your Younique gear, that you have eyelashes on your car, that you walk around with one eye made up and one eye not, don't be afraid to do it. And so that's my 2 tips. 1, shoot big, shoot for the fairy tale. And 2, know your identity and go for it. Be proud to say it.
Hi everyone, this is Tina. Just real quick, I just want to say that everyone needs to be at convention next year. The experience was absolutely amazing. Every speaker that we had was really good. We learned lots of new things. One of the speakers was Jaron Winder. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But anyway, he had some really good points. He has been in direct sales for a long time and always focuses on direct sales for women. He said, I love this quote, "Be the kind of leader that you would follow." How true is that? Creative sense of belong to where you are. He said, "I'm not here to be average, I'm here to be awesome." Something. So when they're joining your team, how important it is to just welcome them. Everybody needs to welcome them. We all know how hard it is to walk into a new group of women that have already formed a relationship. So just accepting everyone who becomes a part of your group, just as if it's the person who was the first one to join. Communicating, he talked about that a lot. Communicating with your group, having a Facebook group, a newsletter maybe every month, doing a conference call, setting up times that we have a one-on-one conversation with our groups. So that's just a few tips, and come to convention. Set aside $25 a week, like Michelle said, and you've got to be there. It was awesome. Okay, bye.
Hi ladies, this is Holly Brown, and I'm just going to go over one of the talks that was done by Jaron Winder in one of our breakout sessions. And his topic was how to create a culture of success within your team. So I'm just going to go kind of through my notes. They're kind of bullet point, so hopefully it makes sense to everyone. But he went over 6 different points in his talk, and so I'm just going to hit and highlight a few of those, or all of those, throughout my notes. So the first one that he said is to be a leader. Build a team that creates a sense of belonging, motivation, setting goals, commitment, and developing leaders. He said that leaders set the pace and set the example of the pace within the team. We need to walk the walk as leaders, and that's what builds trust, is by doing what we say that they need to do. One of the things that he talked about a lot was building other leaders. I'm going to kind of go over, like, I went to Amber Vaughn Voigt's, one of her breakout things, and she said when she builds leaders that build leaders that build leaders that build leaders. And that kind of stood out to me as well. It just seems like it'd be less work for us all if we built our leaders up and then they started building their leaders up and so forth. So build up other leaders. Genuinely care and love your team. Encourage stability. Be the kind of leader that you would follow. Okay, the second point he went over was to create a sense of belonging. So have it based more about relationships versus their numbers and who they're sponsoring. You want it to be a relationship building team. Let's see. You want your team and your group to be a place to come and be yourself and to feel good about being yourself. With new recruits, he says on this, new recruits want to feel valued. They want to feel needed. They want to give individual contribution. So with that, he was suggesting, once you welcome them into your team, after finding out some of their strengths, help them develop those and then have them do trainings on things if they're comfortable with it, and have them, give an individual contribution to the team. Everyone wants to feel appreciated, especially a new recruit. So one thing he suggested was doing is everyone that joins your team to mail them a handwritten card, because those feel good to get when you receive them in the mail. So that's something that I'm going to try to implement more, is every time I sponsor someone to send them a handwritten card welcoming them into the team and start that friendship and relationship building process. New recruits want to feel immediately included in the family. So make sure everyone is super welcoming. And that's something that I have to give kudos to my team. They are great at making everyone feel like a family. I feel like they do such a great job, and I'm so proud of them for that. The third thing that he went over is communication. This is something to ask, to think about and to make a plan. One of it is, what is your direct communication and how does it affect your retention? So you need to come up with a communication plan, and one that works well with both of you, not just what's easiest and more convenient for you, but more so what's easy and most beneficial to the person that you're sponsoring and building up. He suggests having a team Facebook group, which we all probably have, so that's good. A team monthly newsletter. He says on there to welcome the new members on your team monthly newsletter, to have a team goal and how those team goals did last month and the team goals that are for this next month, and look at what they did and what you did as a team, and put that in your monthly letter so they feel like they know where you are on the goals and where they are as a team. So another thing that he mentioned on communication is conference calls at least monthly. and that's for team calls, leadership calls. He said there's a variety of different calls that you should be doing once a month, and that's something that I definitely have not implemented. So I'm going to be implementing that for sure. He said webinars, Skyping, FaceTiming, and Google Groups are a great way of communicating because it's easier to talk to someone face-to-face than it is through typing a message or even over the phone. These are some questions to ask yourself about communication. How often am I going to communicate with my team members? How will I communicate with them? How often will I answer questions that are posted in the group? So to set a time for you, a business work time, because he said you don't need to be on there 24/7. This should be a simple business, and it shouldn't be running your life. It should be something fun for you to do. But he said, make yourself have a 24-hour business, 24 business hours, not open 24 hours, 7 days a week, but to just set a time, a little bit throughout the day to answer questions and let your team know what your hours are going to be. He also said to share your plan with your team. Just when you make new goals for yourself or for the team, make sure you're letting the team know with that constant communication. The fourth thing that he went over was motivation, and this has a lot to do with self-esteem. So I'm just going to go over those little points. He said individual or individual motivation versus team motivation. So he says that, more people respond to individual motivation because it's them personally. You're reaching out and talking to them and connecting with them and helping them figure out their why and keeping them motivated versus just a general post on a group that's, you're trying to motivate everyone. He says you need to connect with each person and their why. So find out what the why is from everyone on your team. And you need to work with the willing. He said don't ignore the people that aren't trying. He said sometimes it takes them a little while to get going, but he said don't spend so much time on the ones that aren't willing to work. Spend your time wisely and work with the willing. You need to uplift, empower, validate, and build self-esteem within your team. And that helps with motivation. Positivity at all times. You need to be positive in your general Facebook posts online. You need to be positive just in your life in general because people can sense that. And then stop the negativity as soon as it starts. If you have anything going on negative in your teams, you need to stop it immediately because that can spread like wildfire. So no negativity policy within your groups and on your team, and let that be known. The fifth thing that he went over was setting goals and then demolishing them. He's like, don't just set a goal and try to hit it. Set a goal and then just demolish it. So you need to set individual and team goals, and you need to make SMART goals. And he put it SMART and then had goals. So the S is have a specific goal. The M is a measurable goal. The A is an achievable goal. The R is a relevant goal. And the T is a timely goal. So all of your goals need to hit those points. So specific goal, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. And it just makes it so that your goal is, something that you can attain and it's not too far off. The sixth thing that he went over was developing leaders within your team. Not to constantly be searching for new leaders, but to develop leaders that are already on your team. And it might be someone that might not be, your superstar right now, but if you can spend some time developing that person, then they can become your leader and your rock star, especially if you're personally involved with it. Offer training and coaching one-on-one with these people, with these girls. Get them to green as quickly as possible. So have them, set a goal with them, a time frame of when they can hit green and what they need to do to get green, and keep in contact with them. Keep their motivation moving forward. Have them take small roles in team training. So we're developing leaders and getting them to green, and we need to have them not just all of a sudden when they hit green, let them lead their team, because I think that's where we get confused and kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm all of a sudden leader. What am I supposed to do? So if we help them develop their leadership skills while they're pink and blue, then once they hit green, it's not going to be such a shell shock for them. So have them take small roles in team trainings. And that's something that I definitely need to work on within my team is that. And then at the end of this, he said, I just want you to ask yourself ask yourself this question and take the time to fill it out. So I'm going to ask you ladies this question, and if you're taking notes, then write it down and, figure out the answer to this question. What are 3 things within these 6 points that you want to start implementing now?
Hey ladies, I wanted to share a fantastic talk that I had from an amazing lady. Her name's Tracy Bild. She came to convention and talked to us about getting your girl back. Have any of you lost your girl? Lost that girl that thrives for more in life, that dreams for everything that she can get? Well, she taught us a little bit how to get your girl back. If you're interested in learning more than this short clip, just contact me and I can totally let you know. First thing is to prioritize your life. So I want you to make a list, 1 to 3, greatest to least of your priorities in life. Okay? So you can do family, fun, play, whatever you want. And then I want you to make 3 goals for each priority. And the reason for that is because you want to make sure that you can achieve those goals. You want to make sure that in your family life and in your fun and, your business, that you are making sure that you do everything that you see that and you see the opportunity that we have, and make sure that you go for it and you get it. Another thing she said is stop. Just sit back and savor. Savor this life that you have. Savor the times that you have with your family, the accomplishments that you have in your job, and make sure that you really think about it and be proud of yourself when you make goals. The last thing she said was find your wings and fly. Find what you do best, get it, and go for it. Fly, and make sure that you just get your goals and make sure that you tell everybody about it. Ladies, I hope to see you all at convention next year. Thanks so much. Bye.
Hey guys, it's Michelle Bell. I'm in my car actually in a Wendy's parking lot. So this is called Training on the Go. I decided to cover the topic that Nicole Smith did at convention, which was coaching, mentoring, and building leaders. I've got my notes down here so I don't miss anything. And basically she talked about 4 different things. Why we need to build leaders. And that's because our compensation plan really rewards leaders that build leaders. That's how you make the most money with Younique. Second thing is that leaders lead by example. So basically what that means is you can't expect your team to sponsor if you aren't sponsoring. You can't expect your team to sell if you aren't sell. You need to be the example. You need to have your $500 in sales at least by the 15th of the month. And then you need to have 2 to 5 presenters that you're sponsoring every month. Okay? The third thing is to identify your leaders. So Nicole suggests that you have six people that you are working to helping them get to elite. 6 future elites. Okay? And that's so that when you get to that black status, you don't have 4 that hit it 1 month and then 1 that drops off. You are solid with 6 leaders. So if 1 doesn't hit it, the other one does. They kind of balance each other out. So 6 leaders. And look down in your downline. It may not be your first level person that you've personally sponsored that is the one that ends up hitting elite. So look at who's selling, who's sponsoring, and reach out to them. And then last, or just be a leader. Do the habits that leaders do. Work consistently. Have a leader attitude. If you have problems, leaders don't let little things get in the way. They also view events as neutral. So changes in kit, neutral. It's all how you look at it. So be a leader, be the example, and build your teams. Thanks.
Hey ladies, it's Christina. I'm excited to talk to you briefly about my biggest takeaway from convention this past weekend. I'm sure my takeaway is a little different than most, as mine does not really have to do with a certain class or certain speaker or message they were trying to portray. Mine has to do with being able to get to know the founders as well as the company that I work for on a more personal level. This was my first convention experience, as this is my first time in direct sales, and what an amazing experience it was to be up there for the weekend with teammates, but also with those involved with the company on a daily basis, people from corporate as well as the two founders. It was truly an incredible experience to be able to be with so many awesome people. There's nothing more inspiring and motivating to me than to know that I'm working for good people in an amazing company full of values and goals that I truly do believe in. Being pregnant and having two little ones at home has made it a little difficult for me to be able to head up to Utah for the Elite Certification Weekend. So as a result, this was my first time meeting Derek and Melanie and learning and hearing them speak in person. And what a privilege it was to be able to shake their hands, talk to them briefly. Both were just wonderful and genuinely excited to meet the presenters. As I walked up to Derek, he took the time to read my name tag, call me by name. Melanie took the time to talk briefly with myself and my team. Not once did they seem rushed or like they needed to move to the next people. I don't even want to try and count how many pictures they had to pose for, but both seemed to truly be loving the opportunity to meet us and spend time with their presenters. Hearing them speak about the company, rewarding presenters, telling stories, and talking about the foundation they're starting was truly inspiring. For people to be in the position that they are with this company and the position that they are financially, to be able to think outside the box and use their money and their knowledge for good is it's truly inspiring to be able to know that that's who we are working for. Most in the business world never really get the opportunity to meet those who are at the top of the business. Very few CEOs and founders make themselves as available as these two did this weekend. It was so wonderful to be a part of. Any chance they got, they were down shaking hands, meeting, taking pictures, laughing, joking, and having a good time with their presenters. They didn't just disappear behind the scenes of things. Coming home, I've been motivated now more than ever to work my business because I know I'm part of something great. I'm working with amazing people, and I want to do more and help them and help everyone else to be able to change the lives of thousands. I know now more than ever that I'm not just selling lashes. There's more to this. And I hope that everyone will get the chance to attend a convention like this and be able to walk away with the same feelings that I did, knowing that we are a part of something so much bigger and better than just selling makeup and selling lashes. There is a real purpose behind this.